We are out in the woods. I'm farming content. So this is the 10 gram Z1 recipe. I posted like a short reel of it. I thought I would make the long form version of that. So we were drinking some of Harry's washed Esmeralda that he roasted. And what I'm going to do is just show you guys a 10 gram recipe. So it's perfect. You know, it's like late out, or it's like 7 right now. So if it's later in the day, you know, you still want to have nicely brewed coffee, but you know, you don't want to make a ton of it. This is where I think the Z1 does a fantastic job of. So the kind of weird logic I have with the Z1 is that the faster you pour, you can potentially get more acidity during the bloom, and the slower you pour, you can unlock a lot of clarity. So the big brain move is you just combine the two together. You just do 2 pours. So it's basically one bloom that's really, really fast, and you max out the melodrip here, and then you do a second pour that is really, really slow at about 2 to 3 mils a second. And you'll see the column of water here just become clearer and clearer as you dissolve and extract coffee. So that is the gist of the 10 gram recipe. Is it's just 2 pours. When you're doing 10 grams, your bed depth is really, really low. So like the thing with the Z1 is, I think if you're like right above this area here and you keep the grounds there, it's okay. But as you go lower and lower on dose, you have to compensate by potentially grinding a little bit finer, and you run into making the cup a little thin, if that makes sense. The idea here is to kind of balance that. And I know a lot of people like 12, but I was like, what is the lowest that I feel comfortable going, which seems to be about 10. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll use some Say. I'm outside, so you know, things aren't perfect. We're also using the Time War Whirly grinder, but I would say take whatever you're using that you use normally for 15 grams and make it a little bit finer. Like if you were using something like, I don't know, a ZP6, you're grinding maybe at 5 to 5.5, you probably want to bump it down to 4 or maybe even 3.5 depending on coffee. But you'll find out that this is a very forgiving brewer to use as you explore brewing with the Z1, and you also can modulate and quote unquote fix things in the brew if you're, say, too coarse or too fine, by just obviously pouring faster and slower. So let's dose out 10 grams of this really wonderful coffee roasted by Say. This is Putushio. For those of you who are hitting any sort of astringency with the Z1, just lower your temperature. I highly recommend you start with 95 and you experiment there. But because on something like 10 grams, you're grinding already really, really fine, or you know, finer than normal, you can actually lower your temperature to something like 93. So right now I've dropped it 2 degrees, and through the entire brew, you just want to keep the kettle off, have everything kind of decline naturally in terms of temperature. So while that's going, I'm just gonna finish up this Esmeralda I drank earlier that Harry brewed. Tastes really nice. And blow out the chaff because we're outside. Really nice coffee. So we definitely are grinding finer than normal, as I mentioned. Maybe it's like 20 to 30% finer than what you're used to grinding at, but of course for every grinder, you know, please adjust. What you just want to be careful of is running into some sort of channeling in the bed. And you can definitely observe that if your cups start to taste a little too thin. I would say back off if you're a little bit too thin. If you are hitting any sort of astringency, lower the temp. You can actually get away with brewing with fairly low temperatures, but we're using, you know, a really nice lightly roasted wash coffee here. We're like about here on the size of the bed. So obviously if you have 12, it's gonna sit up higher. If you have 15, it's gonna sit higher. 15 is actually really the most comfortable, where like this ring is matching this part here, but 10 is a little bit below. But if you go even thinner or lower bed depth, it feels like you can, you know, you have to compensate by grinding finer, and you're gonna run into like a weird thin tasting cup. So that is something you wanna be careful of. I found 10 to work out the best. This is 93, and I'm just going to max the melodrip out, and I'm pouring 50 mils here. And you can see that the flow is quite fast. So, you know, maybe on coffees like this, you could slow down this by obviously grinding finer, but we've been, at least on this specific grinder, we found that this works. I don't know what is the setting on this?
1.5 or something
1.5 or something like that. But you can see that this is clearly like a Z1 brew, so I'm at 30 seconds here. You know, it's pretty dark. the immersion. And I'll show you guys the bed after this when I'm done. I'm gonna be pouring pretty slow, so you build a column of water and you're gonna see it be very, very gentle in terms of agitation. So this here, if you taste this, this is like acidity, it's like dynamic as I'd call it. And then this second pour is what is unlocking a lot of the definition of acidity or the clearness. So what you do wanna do is you wanna pour a little bit faster, I guess, at the beginning here to build up a column of water. And then we're just pouring at 2 to 3 mils a second. And you just do this all the way up until, 1 to 16, 1 to 17. It's gonna be really, really hard to see on the camera, but there is basically this really thin layer of water, the water column, that is just becoming clearer and clearer and clearer. And your total brew time is going to be around 2 minutes. So it's similar to, my 3-pour Z1 recipe that has, 2 fast and 1 slow pour. This is just, 1 fast and 1 slow. And you can see this column water just gets clearer and clearer and clearer, and that's how you can tell you are actually dissolving or extracting the coffee. And you just do the second pour until, whatever ratio you want. And there you go. That is your solid, 10 to 160-ish, 163. And I'll bring the bed up to you guys close so you can see what happens. But here we go. If I put this off here, this is really, this is like how you can tell you're doing it correctly. So this bed is super flat. That is how you tell you do it correct, is like, we don't see any like weird divots like, oh, this bed is taller on this side versus this side. It's just like nice and flat. So, you do flip the coffee over with the initial agitation, but then the second pour is just gentle and it unlocks a lot of the coffee, right? And our total brew time is 2 minutes. And then, you can obviously ream. So we're doing something fun like ream. But what is really nice about this is that you actually get, like, that is extracted here. I'm gonna give some of this to Harry, he's behind the camera. We're also outside, so these cups are gonna cool down more, but look at that, that is actually extracted. So in the cup, at least with this recipe, you should find some acidity and then there's some extension of flavors, right? This is like basically a faster, more compacted version of the 3-pour recipe that I have, but it's for 10. I think like, a lot of my logic, or if you taste like those different layers, it's kind of interesting. It's like, if you did 2 fast, like right there, I did, 1 fast, 1 slow, you'd get a very sweetness for a cup. If you did 1 fast, 1 slow, you get, good enough acidity, and then it's like clear. And then if you did slow for everything, you'd get a very, high definition cup, but maybe not so much like acidity, right? A more balanced, sterile cup. But yeah, wow. Okay, I'm gonna give some of this to Harry, and we can taste this together. But this is the 10-gram recipe. Here you go. Harry wants to be in the frame. This is Putushio. This coffee is awesome. So you get that hit of acidity at the front from like that long bloom.
Super sweet, super long linger.
Yeah, long linger. Because that's what that I think like that's just inherent in the coffee. So like pouring really, really slow and just doing very gentle agitation is unlocking that in the cup. But I want things to be a little more dynamic, so I do that heavier, longer bloom, max out the melodrip at the beginning there. And then you just pour slow, and then it's pretty fun. Like, I really like this recipe is very, very satisfying to do. Like when you pour really slow on the Z1, you see that column, you're basically pouring as fast as the bed is draining through, 2 to 3 mils a second.
Good brew.
This is a good brew.
It's like 7 and I'm drinking more coffee.
Yeah, but you're only drinking 10 grams. So dragon fruit, honeydew, rosewater, that's 100% in here.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. It's such a clean cup too. Like, this is a really clean coffee. The Whirly, damn good grinder, man. Clean Versa.
Why bring the S3 when you can bring the
motorized S3? Yeah, I really like the presentation of this recipe because like, sometimes especially if you're brewing like very premium coffees, like, you only have so many chances, and like when you go from a 12 already is a very small dose. You can go save another 2 grams, do 10 and actually extract most of what like we have brewed this coffee on much more expensive equipment, and we know what this coffee tastes like, and like to be able to actually taste majority of those notes with like a 10-gram recipe is very, very fun, right? And like you definitely can hit, you know, decent-ish extractions on this. I haven't measured the numbers, and that's gonna be highly dependent on what your setup is. But like the point is to actually be able to unlock most of what's in a coffee at a lower dose, right? And I think the Z1 is fantastic for that. So I love the Z1. I have so much fun using it. But yeah, that is the long form version of the 10-gram Z1 recipe. If you have any questions, let me know. Talk in the Discord. We just happen to be outside, and we're doing it outside. So yeah, there you go. Damn, this coffee is amazing. Yeah. Good cup. All right. See you guys later. Hope that was fun.